Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Talk of the Town podcast. Each and every week when you join us, we bring you valuable insight and information that directly affects our local business community. I'm Danielle Hawley, and I'm the Executive Director of the best Chamber of Commerce around, the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And I'm proud to bring you our Talk of the Town podcast with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Carlos Garcia. Carlos, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're so excited. This week, we have Karen Hooper and Marlene Albelbisi from the Inland Empire Ronald McDonald House. Marlene, I got your name, girl. We got it done. But Karen is the executive director. Marlene is the development manager for the West region. Inland Empire Ronald McDonald House. You guys, welcome to the show. We're so excited to talk about the amazing work that you guys are doing within our community.
It is a pleasure to be here, Danielle and Carlos. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We look forward to having a great time with you.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be a great time. And just so people know, you guys got this spot because you came to the luncheon. And so for those of you that are listening, and because I get asked all the time, I want to be on the show. Well, you got to be present to win, right? Got to come to the luncheon. Yeah. We pulled your name out for the raffle, and it was just such a perfect draw, in my opinion, because I've heard, about all the amazing things that you've done. So I wanted to tell the world about it. So here we are. I'm so excited for you to share about the Inland Empire Ronald McDonald House. But before we jump into that, I want to hear from the two of you. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, just personally, outside of work for a moment, and then we'll get into all the exciting stuff about Ronald McDonald House.
Marlene, I'll let you start.
Okay. Well, my name is Marlene Albelbisi. I'm the development manager here at the Inland Empire Ronald McDonald. So I was born and raised in Los Angeles. And what I do outside of work, I guess you can say I go to the gym a lot. I release a lot of stress there. It's very soothing. That's something I like to do. I'm an animal lover. So I used to have 2 huskies that kept me busy. And I say I used to because since I started working at nonprofits, a lot of my time does go to work. So I couldn't take care of them so much. So I had to not give them away, but give them to one of my siblings that they can take care of them so I could still see them. I like to do a lot of hiking. That's one of the things I like to do. Go out, just have fun, enjoy life outside of work. I think we need that balance. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do outside of work.
Awesome. What about you, Miss Karen?
Wow. So I am a local resident to the Riverside area in Jurupa Valley, and been out here many, many years. So my personal life, I have 3 grown children, 3 girls, one that used to work here actually, and my twins, they actually used to, a little fun fact, used to be in movies and commercials.
Wow.
And I have 3 grandchildren. And I've been married to my husband, Clint, for 46 years. And so outside of the Ronald McDonald House, I love the outdoors too. So my exercise partner is my sister. We cycle. So we get on our road bikes every Sunday, but our Pelotons throughout the week. And just love spending time with family. That's, the key.
Yes. I love
That's
it.
fantastic. So tell us then now, how did you guys find your way to the Ronald McDonald House? What got you started in that path?
So I'll start. Gosh, I have been here 18 years. I'll start my 19th year in July. And I'll keep my story as short as possible. I talked about my 3 wonderful grown girls, but my husband and I also had a son, Kevin, who was born with congenital heart defects. And so he required a lot of medical care. And that's what kind of drew us out to the Inland Empire because he was being cared for at Loma Linda Children's Hospital, where he had 2 heart transplants. So we had become involved with the Ronald McDonald House very early on in helping to fundraise and participate in their, at that time called Relay for Kids. And unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 15 not because of his heart, but he wound up with a severe virus that he wasn't able to fight off. And it drew me back to the Ronald McDonald House to volunteer, because there was quite a void when you're used to being a caretaker for a medically fragile child. That consumes your time. And so I needed to do something with that time. So I came back to the Ronald McDonald House to volunteer. And at the time, the executive director didn't have a position for me, but shortly after she did, and she recruited me to be an employee. So I started out as the director of operations, and then 7 years ago promoted into the executive director position. And I can't think of a better place to be, to work with families, understanding really the necessity to have a place to stay when their child's in the hospital, whether they're fighting a critical illness or trauma, whatever the case may be, that they have a place within minutes of the hospital to be near their child. So it's been an honor and a privilege to be here this entire time.
Thank you for sharing that. I know through loss, sometimes we think, oh my gosh, like, why does this happen to me? But obviously hearing about your story, and I know you shared that a year ago, oh my gosh, I think we all, not a dry eye in the place, and just hearing that, but not letting that loss cripple you and stop you, but letting that turn into your passion to helping others, and what empathy you have because you've walked through it yourself, right? And so taking the leadership role as ED and coming in and stepping into that, what better person to really relate to these families? I mean, you've lived it. So thank you for sharing that, Karen.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Marlene, what about you?
So me, I would say I've always volunteered my whole life, ever since I was young. My mom always put us to volunteer with the community. So I've always been part of the community, helping others. And I went to school for criminal justice. I wanted to be in law enforcement, again, helping the community out. But something kept drawing me back to nonprofits for some reason. And I started volunteering for nonprofits. I started as an admin coordinator. From there, I discovered development, fundraising. And when I moved to the IE about 2 years ago, I wanted something closer. I wanted to not commute so far. I used to work in the city of Anaheim. So that 91 freeway was horrible. I felt like it would just take away my time. Yeah. So definitely, as I was looking for a new job and closer, I came across the Ronald McDonald House and Indeed. And the first thing I do is look at their website, look at their social media, see if it's the right fit for me and if it's something I want to do. And just looking at their mission statement, that they provide comfort and care for families and children that are in the hospital, I was like, okay, this is something that drives my attention. Comes back to family, comes back to kids. I love kids. I have 15 nieces and nephews. So I'm like the fun aunt. So I was like, what more better way to, do what I love and then also give back to the community. And I think that's one of the things that drew me to apply. And even though the process, it was a 6 months process, I thought wasn't going to get hired. And when the development director called me, she's like, we want to offer you the job. I was crying. I cried over the letter because I really, really prayed to get this job. And now I'm here.
Well, you were meant to be there. Sometimes we get on these other paths and God says, nope, I need you here. So yeah. Thank you for being obedient to that, and how rewarding to really be in your sweet spot, knowing that you're helping people. So I want to ask you a little bit about, I think you have a million stories that you could share with us about, just highlights that stand out in your mind of families that you've been able to help. But even before we touch on that, I know you briefly talked about what the house is, but can you just give us a general overview for the folks that are listening? What exactly do you guys do?
So our main mission is to provide comfort and care to the families that need temporary housing through our program when they have critically ill children at primarily our Loma Linda Children's Hospital, but we support all the medical facilities in the area. one of the things that I share with the community is if it's closer for the family to stay at our Ronald McDonald House to get to their child and their child's care, they're eligible to stay here. And that's any parent that's experiencing an illness with a child from newborn up to 21 years of age. And providing that comfort and care means that they get their own private guest room, their own private restroom, and they share all the common spaces throughout our beautiful house, which you can see behind Marlene. We serve up to 53 families nightly, and all the amenities are provided for them, from kitchen space where they can cook, where groups come in and provide home cooked meals for them, free food pantries, and library, laundry. We have everything that you could think of to help make their stay as comfortable as possible under the circumstances. And it's all about that family-centered care. So not only is it about caring for the patient and having the parents there to be near their bedside, but also caring for that family. So, when a child's sick, so is the whole family. It impacts the entire family. So we keep that core support unit together here at the house, and just make it as comfortable as possible and as normal as possible under the circumstances. And that's 24/7, 365. We've been open. Our doors have been open since 1996. So our birthday's in September will be 28 years. And in those 28 years, we've serviced over 28,000 family stay requests from not only the Inland Empire, which is our primary geographic area, but we occasionally, depending on the services they need, have out-of-state and out-of-country families here at the house.
What's awesome is also what comes across from both of you in just a short amount of time. Also, it's just that level of caring, right? You can tell in everything that you guys are sharing, and it's gives me a lot of hope that there's great organizations like yours that are really helping families that really need it. So kudos to you guys for sure.
Well, especially in the probably the most critical time, right? I mean, I can't imagine having a sick child and not knowing the outcome, and then to go, somewhere where it's not family, right? But you're treating these folks like family, letting them stay for free and giving them all of these things. When their whole world probably feels like it's been flipped upside down, you're providing that normalcy and that routine for them and that consistency, especially, with other siblings. And I know, Karen, I'm sure your daughters, can attest to that with what you guys had to go through with Kevin. But just having that safe space for them to still try to be a family through what seems like it's a huge crisis, right? So kudos to you guys. So let's talk now. And again, I'm sure you could write a book on, just story after story, but are there any families that just really stand out to you that you want to share their story with our listeners?
I'm gonna open it up to Marlene, so I'm not doing all the talking, but I'm happy to share one too after she shares.
Okay.
That's for me. I've been at the Ronald McDonald's. It's going to be a year in August. So my success story, I think since I am the development manager and I deal with the fundraising aspect of the organization, I'm out in the community a lot. So I talk to a lot of business owners, a lot of potential donors. And for me, I have a success story towards that because I get to share the house with them and tell them why their donation is important, and why we need that donation to keep these doors open for these families. And there is times that, people are hesitant, of course, when it comes to charities. And my go-to is always inviting them to the house. I tell them, come take a tour, come see it for yourself and see the amazing work that we do. Once they do come to the house and they see the amazing work that we do and they get surprised, most people do. They're like, wow, you guys do all that. You guys have a kitchen. You guys have anything you can think of, the laundry room, everything that a family needs, we have here. Then their eyes just open up. And to me, seeing that and knowing that, just by showing the house and not using my words can impact them to give that donation and to support. I feel like with my job and my title, that's a success story that I can bring into the house, and knowing that I'm able to keep these doors open for the families.
That's fantastic. And it is, and you're relying on that money to come in. There is no government assistance, right? This is all privately funded, so which we'll get into later. Karen, what about you?
Well, community is so important. I really appreciate that Marlene brought that out, that she is out in the community, really educating our broader community on what we provide the families here. It's so important because, again, you never know when you're going to be put in that position, but to know that there's a Ronald McDonald House available is priceless. But in terms of families, yes, in my 18 years that I've been here, I've run across many incredible families. I think that the thing for me that's always so heartwarming is, the miracles that we see. And one of the ones that always stands out to me, I talk about him all the time, is little Sebastian. And I'll try to go really quickly, but this is a family who was from the high desert, and they had a 14-year-old son, and then, ooh, surprise, they have a newborn. And he was born with congenital heart defects. And so they were here. And the challenge was that 14-year-old was in high school playing sports, and the dad was like, how do I manage this? Wife's going to be down here. I still need to go up to the desert to, be with my son. And then I have my new son in the hospital. And the minute they walked through the doors and he saw what we provided, and he knew that his wife was going to be safe, and that he could then bring the older brother down on the weekends, again, to be there as that family. And the brother could see his little guy. It just made the world. That was, I think, my first experience where I saw a dad cry, because it meant the world to him to have that. And, as they were here for months on end, Sebastian needed to be on a transplant list. And then he got so ill, they removed him and they sent him home, and they told the family, just love him, take care of him. And they loved him. Their faith was strong. And he is actually 12 years old now.
Oh my gosh. No transplant.
Minor surgeries, didn't need a transplant.
Wow. That gave me chills. Yes, that's a miracle.
And I think more importantly, just the impact that it had on that family. Matthew, when he turned 18, said, do you have a job opening? I want to come work for you guys. Wow. And he was one of our guest service associates for many years as he completed his college and then into his career.
That is fantastic.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
Wow. So let's talk about some of the events that you guys have coming up.
Marlene, events.
Oh, that's me. Events. We have a lot coming up. We're always keeping busy again, fundraising, trying to get funds to come in. But our golf tournament is coming up. That is in November 7 at the Morongo Golf Course in Tupwa Canyon. It's going to be our 21st annual golf tournament. We also have our gala coming up. That is also, the date is September 27th. Okay. We have a fundraising in Rancho Cucamonga, Lazy Dog. So Lazy Dog is going to give us 15% of any sales that they make that day. And this is for June 7th. We also have our birthday coming up, our 28th annual birthday celebration. That's going to be here at the house. And that gives an opportunity for the community to come look at the house and celebrate, take a tour. That will be in September 12th. Again, all these events that we have and more is listed in our website. So if anybody's interested, they can go into our website and check our events. But all year round, we have events going on. Our Walk for Kids. Yes. Yeah, Walk for Kids just passed. It was April 28th, which we do at the Fontana Park. That was amazing. Such a success. So again, we're always keeping busy trying to push these events, fundraising, and just getting the community to be involved.
I love it. And website is Inland Empire Ronald McDonald House. People can just Google it.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Social media, same thing.
Social media, same thing. Inland Empire Ronald McDonald House.
Perfect. And I know you guys send stuff over here to the chamber, and we put it out in our e-blast and our newsletter. We'll share stuff on social media. So you just keep sending it our way and we'll keep putting the word out. But if you guys are listening, there's always something coming up. So definitely want to connect and get involved with the amazing work that they're doing.
I feel like we can talk to you guys forever and just want to learn more and more and more, right? But I know we have a limited time, but I want to make sure that we also, how can our community support your work?
So before I say how they can support, let me say a huge thank you to the City of Fontana on how they support us for our Walk for Kids. They're incredible staff that helps us put that together each year. Just makes a world of difference when you have the partnerships of great communities. So thank you to the City of Fontana for that generous in-kind gift to us for the walk. But how can they help? Get involved. You know, with our nonprofit, we need volunteers. Come and see the house, look at ways that you can get involved. We also have a Circle of Healing program, which Marlene spearheads. That's our sustaining donors, our monthly givers. So any type of a meaningful gift on a monthly basis is very much appreciated because, again, to keep the doors open, every nonprofit, right, has an operating budget that you have to maintain, and it takes a village. And our donations do come from individuals and the community. So look us up, call us. We'd love to give tours. So I know we are opening our doors September 12th for tours, but anytime even before then, you can come for a tour. We have a wonderful program called Meals of Love. So if you like to cook, you can come in and cook for the families. And we would love to share all of those details. So anybody feel free to call our house. If I can shout out the number, it's 909-747-1200, and we'll get you hooked up for a tour.
Awesome.
I love it. So plenty of opportunities, you guys. If you're listening and you don't have the time, you can donate your resources. If you've been blessed with extra resources, hey, send it this way, because, you know, you never know when you're going to be the one on the receiving end, right? And maybe life's going great for you right now, and you think, oh, that doesn't affect me. But we shouldn't have that mentality because, A, you never know when something like this could hit close to home and you could find yourself needing this help. But more importantly, we need to be good stewards of what God's given us and just be other-minded, right? And other-focused. Thinking about the families that are in desperate need, you know, facing just critical situations with children, just insurmountable, I'm sure, grief and worry and all of those emotions that come with it, just to know that you are helping to support a mission that is helping to alleviate that terrible process, and support. What better investment, right? And so, and your doors are always, you know, revolving, right? Like you have people coming in all the time. This isn't like oh, it's just for a season. This isn't all the time thing that you guys are doing. And so if you're listening and you feel led to help, don't second guess it, go for it. Call them, make an appointment, go down there. And if you can financially give and support, I know they'd appreciate that too. But Marlene and Karen, we so appreciate you guys. We will have you back in a few months or so, maybe after the, you know, all of the fun events for the back half of the year, just to get a little update. But it is very critical and important what you guys are doing to just bless the families and help take care of them through these really critical times. So thank you to both of you. We appreciate you being members of the chamber, and just love all of the work that you guys are doing. So kudos to you guys, and all of our listeners out there. You know what you need to do. Connect with the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Carlos. Really appreciate being here today and having this opportunity to share what we do with the community.
Keep up the awesome work, for sure.
Yeah, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, once again, thank you for tuning in. Talk of the Town podcast. We come to you each week with a new episode. So 10 a.m. Tuesday, all major streaming platforms. You don't want to miss our latest episode. Thank you again, Marlene, Karen, Ronald McDonald House. You guys are fabulous, and we'll catch you all of our listeners next week.